Hey guys, in this lesson we will talk about Git and GitHub. First of all, we will talk about what the Git is. Secondly, we will compare it with GitHub. Finally, we will give an example about Git. Let's start with Git definition. Git is a version control system. It tracks changes on files. Git supports any type of file. On the other hand, GitHub is a Git repository. We can push our Git data to GitHub, and GitHub serves as a hosting service for Git. Git and GitHub also provide collaboration, so we can create a project that we can work with as a team. Let's talk about Git basic keywords. We can say repository for all Git content and Git histories. Git repository is constructed from branches. We can describe multiple branches on a Git repository. These branches can trace different history paths for different files. And finally, a branch is constructed from commits. Each commit has a unique ID and we can revert commits. Okay, now we can see Git basics on an example. First of all, we should download and install Git according to our operating system. After we download it, we can install it with clicking Next and Next buttons. So there is no specific thing on these steps. After installation, we should describe our Git username and email because Git should know commit assignee. Git assigns each commit to a collaborator. To set it, we can use git config global settings. If you have a GitHub account, please describe your credentials according to that information. Then we can create a new project and we can see all Git processes. Let's create a new project like Git demo. Then we can open this project with an editor. In here, we can use lots of different editors according to our desire. But in this lesson, as a programmer, I will use IntelliJ. Let's open our project on IntelliJ. Okay, we are ready to start coding now. First of all, we should check Git status. When we check it, Git says this project is not a Git project. First of all, let's create a test file. We can write some random things as content. Now let's assume that our first feature is ready and we want to commit our project to Git and GitHub. So we should specify as this project is a Git project. We can do it via git init command. Okay, now our project is a Git project. Git project stores files with two steps. These steps are stage and commits. So we can add or remove files on stage level. Then we can commit our stage files to commit level. To add files to Git stage, we can use git add command. We can add all files or we can add files one by one. To add all files, we can use git add dot. Or to add files one by one, we can use git add filename. After adding files, files will be on stage level on Git anymore. Then we should commit our changes to send them to the Git tree. Git commit command is git commit m plus commit message. When we commit it, commit log will be seen on Git history logs. On Git, each commit will have a unique ID. We can see log details on IntelliJ detailedly and clearly. Then when we create a new commitment, logs will be updated. Of course, we can revert back commits. When we change the name of the file, Git also tracks the previous file. Because Git doesn't care with file name, Git interested with file hash. Now let's create a new file and we will check the log changes on other files. We can add new random content to the new file. Then, when we commit our new file, our previous file doesn't be affected by the new commitment because Git detects only modified files and Git stores only these changes on log history. Otherwise, each commitment will shrink our Git repository and will not be effective. Okay, now our local Git commitment is ready. We want to work collaboratively on the same project. To do it, we can work on different branches. For example, I can work on master branch and my partner can work on dev branch. Then we can merge our codes to a new branch. To do it, we can create branches and we can switch branch easily. To create a new branch, our command is git branch plus branch name. Then we can check out branch. Or we can create and check out a new branch with a single command like git checkout p branch name. On dev branch, let's create a new file and let's commit it to dev branch. When we switch our branch to master, we couldn't see the new file because each branch has its own files and its own file history. And we couldn't see dev files on master without merging them to the master branch. When we switch to the dev branch, we can see the new file again. Okay, now we saw the basic commands about Git. Now we want to push our code to GitHub. To do it, first of all, we will open our GitHub dashboard. Then we will click to New Repository button. Then we will specify our repository name. Our repository name will be Git demo. Then we can set access rights. In here, we will set it as public, but of course you can go on with private mode. When we set as public, everybody can see our codes. But of course, to collaborate it, we should give access to them. Then we can create it. Actually, GitHub says what we do to import our code here. First of all, we will initialize Git on our project. Then we will add all items to Git. Then we will relate our remote repository with the project. Then we will commit our codes with a commit message. Finally, we will push it to a branch. Actually, we did lots of them on our project. Now we will relate our project with this GitHub repository. Then we will push commits. In here we have two branches. We will push them one by one. Okay, now our code is reachable from GitHub as public. In here, there are redundant codes like the idea folder. With Git, we can ignore them. To ignore them, we can use a gitignore file. On the gitignore file, we will specify the folder name. Then we should remove idea files because we pushed it. If we didn't commit it, we don't need to remove them. But in here, we committed them. So first of all, we should remove them. Okay, now we can commit and push changes again. When we check the repository again, we won't see the idea folder anymore. Git and Github have lots of different features. In this lesson, we couldn't give all the details, but I want to give an example about pull request because pull request is important for teams. On teams, we can create different branches, then we can create pull requests from these branches, and we can send these pull requests to review. Finally, if pull request is confirmed, we merge our branches. Now we will illustrate these steps. First of all, from pull request tab, we want to merge our dev branch to master branch. We should give a name for our PR. Then we can create it. Then from the reviewers section, we should choose a reviewer. In here, your teammates will be listed. If your code is approved, then we can merge our code. If we want, we can also delete our feature branches. Okay, that's all. Thank you.